Welcome back to A Byte in Time, the series of myself going back in time and watching wrestling shows from different eras. I'm currently going through 2002 WWE, a portion of the company's history that I just haven't really watched a ton. And in the last edition of the series, we took a look at No Mercy from 2002. And if you haven't gone back and watched that video, definitely go back and check that one out so you can kind of get an idea of the current landscape of the company from pay-per-view to pay-per-view. Just to kind of throw out the general state of the WWE at this time, Raw is generally a pretty horrendous show, while SmackDown is superior in pretty much every way. Raw is loaded with boring Triple H or even Eric Bischoff promos every week, and SmackDown is mostly just the SmackDown 6, having great matches, and the Al Wilson storyline, which feels like it should be on Raw. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the 2002 Survivor Series show from Madison Square Garden that had the first ever Elimination Chamber match in the main event. The opening promo and fireworks sequence builds up the first Elimination Chamber match taking place in the main event, and fun fact, it cost WWE $250,000 to build this Elimination Chamber. The first match on the show was a 6-man table elimination match. We had Bubba Ray, Spike, and Jeff Hardy defeating Rico in 3-minute warning in 14 minutes and 20 seconds. I had this match at 3.5 stars. It was a really fun way to open the show. It was really sloppy and chaotic for most of it. That's what these hardcore matches are designed to be. Just people doing crazy shit for 15 minutes and popping the crowd to start the event. There wasn't really a huge build-up for this. 3-minute warning and Rico are the lower card heels for Raw, and they're squaring off against the similarly positioned babyfaces in Bubba, Spike, and Jeff. They've basically just been going back and forth, taking turns, getting the better of each other the past few weeks. The Go Home Raw had Jamal, aka later known as Umaga, doing a splash from Spike and Jeff through a table to set up this stipulation. Rosie from 3-minute warning is pretty easily the worst guy in this match. Obviously Bubba and Jeff are solid workers, and I actually like Rico quite a bit. He has some fun kicks and offense, so he's one of these guys that I'm really enjoying on the undercard. Rosie kind of just doesn't move good. He moves slow, and his stuff just doesn't look great. Spike got eliminated about 5 minutes into the match by a double facebuster from 3-minute warning, and I was disappointed by that because I didn't really get to see any classic crazy Spike bumps or spots in this, so I was upset. Hardy then eliminates Rosie by doing a swanton off an elevated exit ramp, and it looked great. Jamal, reminder that he's definitely at least 350 pounds at this stage, then jumps off the top rope to the outside and splashes Jeff through the table and eliminates him. Awesome stuff there. Jamal is out of his mind and goes for a top rope Hurricane Rana for some reason, and Bubba obviously counters that and eliminates Jamal with a top rope powerbomb through the table. All the heels are then ganging up on Bubba, and Devon Dudley runs down to make the save and reform Team 3D after his failed Reverend Devon push on SmackDown. Bubba and Devon then hit a 3D through a table on Rico, and the babyfaces win. It was just a ton of fun. Gave it 3.5 stars. Second match on the card, we had Billy Kidman defeating Jamie Noble with Nydia to win the WWE Cruiserweight title in 7 minutes and 10 seconds. I had this match at 3.25 stars, and this ended the surprisingly long title reign for Jamie Noble at 5 months. The not very interesting story heading into this one had been that Billy Kidman had pinned Noble twice leading up to this match on SmackDown, and obviously that earned him a title shot. This match is basically just the same thing I've said about these cruiserweight matches. They rarely get over 10 minutes, so they can't really get to that next level and kick it to another gear, but they're all very enjoyable and easy to watch, just quick pace and fun moves. Nydia slapped Kidman directly in the face and in front of the ref, so I'm not really sure why that wouldn't have been a DQ, but regardless, we move on. Couple fun spots here. Kidman hit a great facebuster off the top rope. Moments later, after a near fall, Noble dropped Kidman right on his head with a fantastic looking spike DDT with Kidman's feet on the top rope. Kidman eventually picks up the win with his unique shooting star press that I think looks pretty great, but I know that's kind of a controversial point of discussion regarding Billy Kidman, and wins the Cruiserweight title. This was another fun match. At the end of the day, it was another enjoyable contest. Backstage, Angle and Benoit have a funny segment where they get on the same page for the tag team title match later on, and Angle eventually hugs Benoit for a very long time. Angle is just so good in these segments, he's hilarious. Victoria is shown backstage yelling at a mirror and yelling at herself. She breaks the mirror because it apparently told her that Trish is prettier than her. Her whole character is that she's just absolutely insane, so this is on brand. Jerry Lawler, as always, is a complete creep before anything in this match even starts, stating that anything goes in this match, I just hope it's the close. Fuck off, King. That leads into the third match of the card. We have a hardcore match with Victoria defeating Trish Stratus to win the women's world title in 7 minutes and 4 seconds. I gave this match 2.75 stars. This was better than their last match at No Mercy. Getting into more backstory for this match, Trish and Victoria were both fitness models, and WWE were interested in both, but Trish didn't let Victoria get her chance. Victoria has become obsessed with destroying Trish and taking the belt, and these two worked really hard and put their bodies on the line, so I enjoyed this a lot more, but it was still incredibly sloppy in some sections, and the finish was just completely flat. There was one funny spot where Trish set up a trash can on Victoria laying down, but Victoria wasn't actually like in the trash can, so it was just on top of her face. And then Trish kicks the can and it goes flying, and she clearly didn't hurt Victoria at all, but she still sells it. Victoria then brings out a mirror from under the ring. She looks into it, throws it in the ring, and it plays no part in the rest of the match because Trish accidentally steps on it and it essentially breaks apart. The finishes suck. Victoria hit Trish with a snap suplex and pinned her to win the title after they used all these dangerous weapons. It was a very strange way to end it, but I think the finish ultimately got messed up because I do assume that they were planning to use the mirror there. Going backstage, Big Show interrupts a Bischoff interview saying he made a mistake in trading him. Then Lesnar and Heyman are shown backstage. Heyman says he will do anything in his power to make sure his client wins this match and the WWE Championship. The fourth match on the card, the Big Show defeated Brock Lesnar to win the WWE Heavyweight Championship in 4 minutes and 23 seconds. I give this match 2 stars. It wasn't really much of a match and more so an angle due to Lesnar being legit hurt at the time. It was fun to see Brock throwing Show around for a little bit, so that's why I even went 2 stars. The whole angle heading into this match is that Big Show is too big for Lesnar to manhandle and beat. It's just a bit preposterous considering Big Show is feuding with mid-carders on Raw and losing matches to them not too long before this, but it's whatever. I mean, he is 7 foot and they love to just stop and start push him, so Lesnar got the best of Show and beat him down on the go-home SmackDown, showing that Lesnar has what it takes to beat the Big Show. In doing some research regarding this angle and match, I found some interesting tidbits. Apparently, Hulk Hogan was supposed to come back and ultimately refuse to put over Lesnar again, so they needed a last-minute replacement. It was between Big Show and Chris Benoit, with Heyman angling for Benoit to be the direction, but Vince wanting Show as the challenger. In the end, Vince was wanting to put the belt on Show to have Lesnar chase. Heyman himself wanted to have Lesnar just beat him up so that Lesnar could turn without having to drop the title. In the end, Vince obviously got his way, and they put the title on the Big Show, with Heyman turning on Lesnar in the match. Lesnar has Show beat, and Heyman pulls the ref out of the ring and then hits the ref in the face. Lesnar chases after Heyman, and the Big Show chokeslams Lesnar on a steel chair for the win. It's just a weird choice to have Big Show ultimately be the guy to hand Brock Lesnar his first loss in the WWE. It's very odd, and it doesn't really do anything for anybody, I don't think. Obviously, long term, it works out fine, but Big Show just looks awful here. His current ring attire and his facial hair and his overall presentation is just not main event caliber, and they didn't really do anything to build him up to this level. Heyman and then Big Show flee the arena very quickly and leave in a limo, and then they showed Dawn Marie and Al Wilson in the crowd just to remind you that they are still going to be married and are currently engaged. Semi-main event on the card, we had the 3-way elimination match for the WWE Tag Team titles. Eddie Guerrero and Chavo Guerrero defeated Edge and Rey Mysterio, and Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle to win the Tag Team titles in 19 minutes and 26 seconds. I gave this match 3.75 stars. I thought this was pretty disappointing considering all the names that were involved in this, and just how good the last few Tag Team title matches have been for these belts. It was solid, but nothing compared to the No Mercy match, and even the matches that they've had on SmackDown leading up to this event I thought were better than this, but I think they kind of, had to work around the stipulation. Since No Mercy, Rey and Edge challenged for the tag team titles in a 2 out of 3 falls match, and they ended up winning after the final fall got thrown out, and this started out pretty standard in here, triple threat tag team matches with everyone, feeling each other out until Angle tossed Mysterio into the air where he landed on the top turnbuckle, but then slipped and landed right on his neck. It looked absolutely brutal, and you can see the ref and Eddie checking on Rey, but ultimately he was fine. So the first half of this match was pretty much dominated by Angle and Benoit, doing fantastic work on offense. They get eliminated first to the layout of them. There's a couple of fun spots in the early portion of this, include Angle and Benoit locking in the ankle lock and the crossface at the same time on Edge. Rey then broke it up and did a nice dive to the outside. A little after that, Eddie took a crazy back suplex to the outside of the ring that looked wild. Chavo then hits Benoit in the back with a title and then throws it to Angle, which results in Benoit thinking that Angle hit him for some reason, not sure why he would buy that. Edge then eliminates Benoit with a spear to a chorus of boos that made me laugh a lot. The crowd hated that Benoit and Angle got eliminated here. Now we're down to just Chavo and Eddie versus Rey and Edge. The Guerreros worked over Edge until Rey could make the hot tag. This was solid, but to me and the crowd it seemed, this wasn't as interesting or as good once Angle and Benoit were out of the mix. For the finish, Chavo hit Rey with the belt in the back while he went for the West Coast pop, and this allowed Eddie to lock in the lasso from El Paso for the win and to become the new tag team champions. Second best match of the night and very good overall, but like I said, slightly disappointing when you have this much amount of talent in the ring. Chris Nowinski, who I think has been a pretty enjoyable mid-card or lower mid-card heel, then makes his way to the ring. He cuts a promo calling the audience stupid. Matt Hardy interrupts and says this audience isn't stupid, they're actually losers. The two then argue and eventually agree to call the audience lupid, which is losers and stupid. The siren hits and the Big Papa Pump comes out. Steiner then beat both of them up, did push-ups, and then said, "This goes to all my freaks in New York City. Big Papa Pump is your hookup. Holla if you hear me." Even though I know Steiner doesn't have a good run in the WWE, I'm still a big Steiner mark from his TNA days, so I'm excited to see him in the company. Backstage now, there's a shot of Shawn Michaels getting ready for the main event, and he was interviewed by Terry. Before Shawn could say anything, Randy Orton showed up to do a RNN breaking news update to let us know rehab for his shoulder is going well. This has been Orton's gimmick while he's out currently, and it's pretty funny. It's one of those so bad that it's good. Like, his acting is horrendous, but I think it's kind of supposed to be that way and cheesy, like you're supposed to not like him. So Triple H then gets interviewed by Coachman as they are stalling for time while the Elimination Chamber gets lowered down. Eric Bischoff comes out and hypes up the Elimination Chamber before the match. 2 miles of chain, 10 tons of solid steel designed to punish the human body, 6 Raw superstars putting themselves through hell for the ultimate prize, the World Heavyweight Championship, which leads us into the main event of the evening, the 6th match on the card, the Elimination Chamber match. Shawn Michaels defeats Triple H, Chris Jericho, Kane, Booker T, and RVD to win the World Heavyweight Championship in 39 minutes and 21 seconds. So Triple H pushed hard for the War Games match, but Vince didn't want to do a WCW gimmick, so they ultimately pivoted and created this. Shawn and Triple H called the entire final segment on the fly, as they hadn't got that far in planning the match before the show since it was an incredibly complex match. Kane was supposed to be after Michaels, but his pod opened up first and threw everything off, so Kane came out second to last, and Shawn came out last. It was supposed to be the inverse of that. RVD landed on Triple H's throat when he couldn't fully stand up on the pod for the 5-star frog splash, which injured Triple H's larynx and also threw off some of the match. And yeah, I gave this match 4.25 stars. Really enjoyed it. The match had a lot of great spots and violence overall. The series of eliminations in the match went as follows. Booker T eliminated RVD, Chris Jericho eliminated Booker T, Chris Jericho then eliminated Kane, Shawn Michaels eliminated Chris Jericho, and then finally Shawn Michaels eliminated Triple H to win the match and the world title. Again, doing some research in the actual construction of the Elimination Chamber, it was clear that it was designed by somebody who has never taken any bumps before. WWE clearly got much safer in future iterations of this, but it was made out of real graded steel, and the walls were very stiff, and everything hurt very badly. They definitely changed that up moving forward, but these guys' backs were looking rough during this match. It was pretty brutal. RVD also looks like he's injured in his knee or something, and the ref throws up the X for both guys. Booker T hits a missile dropkick and eliminates RVD. Kane then enters next on accident, and he cleans house like everyone else has so far. He throws Jericho through the glass. It looked and sounded great. Then a little later, there was a low blow from Jericho, chokeslam from Kane, and a lion salt from Jericho that eliminated Booker T. Shawn Michaels then entered the chamber last and took everyone out. His gear and his haircut are awful. He looks like shit. Michaels gives Kane a sweet chin music. Triple H hits a pedigree, and it's followed up by a lion salt with Jericho pinning Kane. Jericho has Triple H in the walls of Jericho, but Michaels hits a sweet chin music to eliminate him. We're down to the final 2. I thought the final portion of this match, just the 2 of them, was pretty weak, but I think I have to give them the benefit of the doubt with Triple H working while barely being able to breathe or do much of anything at this point. Ultimately, Michaels counters a pedigree attempt with a back body drop and then hits another sweet chin music to pin Triple H for the win to a monster pop. Shawn Michaels is the new World Heavyweight Champion as the confetti rains down and the event closes with an incredible Jim Ross call on commentary to end it. Really enjoyed the match and the moment of Shawn winning the world title. All 5 titles changed hands on this show, and it felt like a shift in directions for the company. My best match of the night was the Elimination Chamber. The worst match of the night, I'll go with Brock Lesnar vs. Big Show, considering it wasn't much of a match. It really wasn't that bad though. Running down some best moments of the night, Michaels winning the world title as a feel-good moment to end the show was pretty awesome. Lesnar got a thunderous pop when his music hit for his match, just superstar level stuff. Jeff Hardy's crazy swanton from the top of the exit area through a table was pretty sweet, and Jericho coming out to King of My World. It's a banger. This is another hot take, I think. I really like this song. He only used it for Survivor Series, and then he came out to it the next Raw, and then that was it. And I really like the song. I enjoy him coming out to it, but apparently Vince and Jericho did not like it, so they got rid of it pretty much immediately, but I enjoyed it. Some of the worst moments of the night, Shawn Michaels deciding that his bob haircut and brown pants were a good combo, just truly a horrific look, has to be the worst moment of the night. RVD hitting a frog splash right on Triple H, and him having to continue wrestling for 20 minutes. Brutal, but gotta give props to Triple H for being a tough-ass dude. I have given a lot of shit to Triple H during this time, and deservedly so, but you can't deny that he's a tough guy in the ring. Number 3 is just having multiple Eric Bischoff segments where they just aren't needed. And the last moment, Big Show's entire wardrobe, and look at this time, just so bad. He looks like shit. I don't know if there was some health problems happening here. He was massive though, and his gear was just not good. As for my ranking and where this is going to slot in at, I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10. This was more consistent than No Mercy, but it didn't reach the highest points that it did match quality wise. I slightly prefer No Mercy, but this was another enjoyable pay-per-view. The booking being kind of head-scratching at this point are my only real complaints of the event in general. So just to recap the pay-per-views that I've watched up to this point, No Mercy 2002 had an 8 out of 10 as first. SummerSlam 2002 had a 7.75 out of 10, is going to be in second place. I've lowered the rating that I gave it originally. Number 3 is going to be Survivor Series 2002 at a 7.5 out of 10, and then fourth, in a pretty comfortably fourth, is Unforgiven 2002 at a 6.5 out of 10. That is going to do it though for this episode of A Byte in Time. Thank you all for watching, and if you'd like to see more episodes like this, let me know in the comments and make sure to subscribe so you do not miss any in the future. Also, let me know if you have seen the show recently and what your favorite matches are from it, and what I got wrong that you actually like. But that is going to do it for me, everybody, and I'll see you all next time, which will be for Armageddon 2002